What is going on, guys? Tempo Trades. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you my simple 3-step trading strategy that has allowed me to get this payout on Take Profit Trader and this payout on Top Step. So let's get straight into the video. All right, guys. So here is the bread and butter of the trading strategy. So it's really just 3 simple steps, right? Number 1, you are identifying a high time frame point of liquidity. In this case, that is previous day high. Step 2, you are just waiting for that area of liquidity to sweep. And then step 3, you're looking for that reversal pattern into an inverted fair value gap. That is our entry model of choice to confirm the reversal. And you're just going to simply target the opposite side of the range. It's very, very simple. Now, we do have a checklist that we'll break down later on in the video that's a little bit more detailed, but that's the 3 things you need. So I have concise backtesting from January of this year to now. And if you just follow that line of thinking, you are going to have an 80% win rate as a 1-to-1 risk reward target and a 77 win rate overall. So it's very, very consistent. You find your liquidity, you wait for that sweep, you look for the reversal pattern with the IFEG, and you enter the setup. All right, going on to trade number 2. This is kind of a little bit more of a different look here. We did get the liquidity sweep, but it's with ES. So this is on NQ. Now we have a data high right here, data high and data low. What is a data high and data low? Every week, we will have news come out on Forex Factory. It's a website that I like to use. And you can see these red folder news events will give us these data candles sometimes. Now, all we're doing is when one side sweeps, you look for a reversal to the other side. So in this instance, what happened was we created both wicks and NQ swept the low, right? You can see right here, NQ swept the low. Now, there's an SMT because ES did not sweep the low, but that's okay. As long as one of them sweep and start that reversal pattern, you're now looking for the inverted fair value gap and targeting the other side of the wick. Okay, in this instance, we targeted the top side, we entered long right here, and we held it all the way to the data high. And you could see we made $11,622 across all my accounts with this one right here. Okay, guys, here is trade number 3. I believe this one does not have a liquidity sweep, so it's a little lower on my ratings guide. You're gonna see here, this is my overall checklist. These are my 6 main confluences where if you can follow this, you will have a very, very high win rate. You know, as the back testing has shown, the liquidity sweep is definitely my number 1 confluence, but there are a few times where, you know, all the other confluences are really good and we just don't have a sweep, and I feel like it's worth taking. And this was one of those instances. I believe there was an SMT divergence down here, but regardless, I took this long off this huge green volume candle, created that bullish order block, and we just targeted the draw on liquidity up there, which was the New York high of day. You can see the executions on screen as well. Okay, play number 4, man. This was a magical one. This was an absolute magical one. So you see here, I was on this trade live on my Top Step Fund accounts, and this was another sweep situation. It's a phone screenshot, so you're gonna have to bear with me. I was probably out for this one, but you can see this blue line right here is the Asia high. I have an indicator which is in the description or it's in my Discord. It'll automatically map out your overnight highs and lows, your Asia high and low, your London high and low. So all we're doing is we're just waiting for those areas to sweep, looking for that reversal pattern, waiting for the IFEG, and entering short, right? There it is. There is the area where I went break even, and I kind of just took trims on the way down here. You can see from the screenshot. So this is a textbook bread and butter. Just sweep, reversal, IFEG, enter, we're done. And it's very, very good. It's very, very effective, and it makes me a lot of money. Here is yet again another example on August 12th, 4-hour liquidity area. You wait for the sweep, boom, look for the reversal pattern, boom, enter the IFEG short when it closes under the gap, boom, and we target that swing low right there for 40 points. And you can even see there was 0 hindsight here because I called this all out in the Discord community before it even happened. And just for some of the newer traders, I do want to show you what my chart looks like. So you could see with my indicator, it automatically maps out these key liquidity areas. Now, you're not going to reverse on them every single time, but usually multiple times per week, you will find great setups off of them. So, you know, you can see my London highs automatically mapped out. My Asia low and London lows automatically mapped out. And it's just very, very nice to have on your chart. If you're looking to trade off of like hourly and 4-hour sweeps, like this would be an example right here. You know, you could see very clearly price came down, swept out that hourly low, and reversed back up to the upside. So what would I do? I would basically mark that out as a swing low. Then I want to go to the replay tool just to see when this happened. And then if you go to lower time frame, you could see right there, you know, we actually ended up sweeping it. We swept the liquidity, the 1 hour low right here. Price went down a little bit more, went up for an up leg, retracement, up leg, and expanded out of that range. So, you know, this would have been a beautiful look right there. All right, guys, I can show you examples of this all day, every day. Trading is not supposed to be complicated. You're supposed to look for the same thing every single day, rinse and repeat, that you know works. So I'm not trying to beat a dead horse, but we have our hourly low marked out. We get the liquidity sweep down there. I'm looking for the reversal long. I enter long when the candle closes over the IFEG. We target the opposing side of the range. Bang, bang, bang. Here are the executions as well. So, you know, we're not lying. It's just beautiful. I mean, this setup really changed my life. And back in August when I took this trade, I was on a 14-day win streak, doing the same thing every day. Okay, moving on to next trade. I do want to say it's not all sunshines and rainbows. I'm not here to tell you that this model wins every single time, because it doesn't. What I am telling you is based on the data, it wins way more than it loses, but you do take losses. Here's an example of a loss I took. I was on a 15-day win streak back in August. I ended up losing $9,000 on this, so it definitely didn't feel good. But the crazy part is, I guessed the move correctly. I simply just got faked out of my position. So you can see down here, I was looking for the IFEG long. There must have been some sort of sweep that I didn't mark, but I was looking for the long. I entered long there. Price ended up faking me out, going below the gap, which is my stop loss area. But then on the very next leg up, it expanded all the way up here for 100+ points, and that's what the move I wanted the whole time. So stuff like this happens in trading. You know, you're not going to win every single trade. I understand that, but I just know if I keep following my system, if I stick to this checklist every single trade as mechanically as possible, I'm going to have a great risk reward and a great win rate. And that's just what keeps me going on days like this. All right, guys, this is a little bit of an unorthodox play. This is a 50% of the daily range tap. So along with liquidity sweeps, I guess this is kind of my backup setup when there are no liquidity sweeps. 50% of the daily range is very simple. You could pretty much draw it by going on the 15-minute chart. You're pretty much starting at 6 p.m. New York time. You're finding the high in that range. You're finding the low in that range. You're drawing a box from high to low. And that midpoint is your 50% level. And this is going to be a really good support and resistance level to take trades off of with the IFEGs. If you want this to be marked automatically, you could just download the indicator, like I said, and it'll automatically track it. But in this instance, we came down, we tapped that 50% range. So now we're expecting a move out of it, right? Like a support level. And we basically combine that with the inverted fair value gap to enter long, and we rode that trend higher. So this was like a nice 60-70 point trade. And, you know, some days you're not going to get liquidity sweeps. Sometimes we're in a weird range and there's no liquidity anywhere near us. So that's why I kind of have these backup setups, these B setups, whenever that is the case. And here was me live in the trade. You can see at that point I was holding 2 micros for runners. So showing you executions for most of these things. I always post my payouts, like right here, a $5,000 payout from my funded futures. I always show my payouts and executions on my Twitter if you're interested. You can go follow me there. All right, guys, and last but not least, we have a classic New York high of day sweep into the reversal short. Now, this is another good liquidity area that you can use, especially the PM traders. Okay, I personally trade AM most of the time, so I don't have this type of setup often. But if you trade PM, what you can do is you can mark out the high from 9:30 to 11 a.m., the high and the low, because those are going to be key levels. There's a lot of liquidity resting there. Once those levels sweep, you look for that reversal pattern, and that's exactly what I did right here. You had that high sweep. I'm looking for shorts. I enter short on the inverted fair value gap, targeted those swing lows down there. I had a great August, man. All right, guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video. If that doesn't show you how consistent the model is, I don't know what will. You can go on the link in the description, trade live with me for 7 days and see the magic for yourself. But this model did change my life. I tried 10 other models before this, and it wasn't nearly as consistent as this one. So I'm just trying to help other people out and show you the light. you enjoyed this video, leave a like, leave a comment. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.